wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up.
Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you. Indeed, welcome to today. I wish you a terrific Tuesday morning. How do you do? Welcome all. It is Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. I am Pearson Bowen. It is so wonderful having you company. You have no idea. I look forward to seeing you every day. I hope you feel the same way about me. You better, or else. Indeed. So to all of you watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, good morning. Thank you for waking up. Thank you for logging in. Thank you for talking between yourselves, but talking to us as well. A big thank you for real, for real. Share the show. That's all I ask of you. Share the show. Let some others come along. Those who don't know or those who may have forgotten, bring them back. Let them come join us every weekday morning, Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning. This is where we hang out and we have some fun, but we learn a lot as well. You'll get to experience some new things and in new ways as well. So bring them along, and I thank you for doing so. Also, if you have an idea or if you know of something or someone whose story you think we need to tell on Morning Barbados, help us. Drop us an email. The email address is right there on your screen. It is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Now I'm a man who sounds his G's. So if I did not sound my G just now, that means there's no G. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And I thank you for doing so. Our team thanks you as well because we like partnering with you and we are thankful that you're partnering with us as well. So how was your yesterday? For real, we're in a brand new week now. Yesterday was Monday and today's Tuesday. So how was your yesterday? You know, all of a sudden it felt really, really warm. I don't know why. But I'm hoping that it cools down a little bit today, and I'm hoping that you hope the same thing too. Slender Glenda, good morning. She wishes everyone a terrific Tuesday. We send it back to you, Slender, with loads and loads and loads of love. Patricia Ben in the United States, she says good morning to me. She says good morning to the crew, and we do to you, Patricia Ben. Have a lovely today. In New York is Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, good morning. The 246 sends greetings back to you as well, and thank you as always for waking up to keep us company. Marcia Rock, we want to wish you a beautiful today as well. Most of all, a terrific Tuesday. Have a great one indeed. Be your best self, Marcia, and only good will attend you. Auntie Faye is watching from St. Peter. Auntie Faye, to you, we wish a great today. Have a terrific one indeed. She sends the very same to everyone, everywhere, and we thank you, Auntie Faye, for doing so. Curtis Hope, how are you doing today, Curtis? Good morning, Barbados, he says, and blessings to everyone everywhere. Curtis, back to you as well. Boy, y'all are flowing. I love it. I love it. Sweet Rons, good morning, good morning, good morning. My girl, how are you doing? She sends good morning to the crew and to all of you as well. And so to you too, Sweet Rons, have a lovely today. Pele Dabro, good morning. Bonjour, ça va? How are you doing? Where are you watching from? Where are you watching from with a name like that? Tell us where you're watching from. I can't wait to hear from you. So if you're watching from here, that's okay. If you're watching from over there, that's okay too. Just tell us where you're watching from, and we'll be happy to embrace you into our little community. Bajan Rock, how are you doing? Good morning to all. Bajan Rock on YouTube says to all of you indeed. Who's this one? Prem Catwell. I love it. These strange names are coming in. Prem, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you as well. You guys are doing the job. You're sharing the show. And I thank you so very much for bringing new names and new people in to join with us every single day. Thank you. Thank you. Now listen, yesterday, the Barbados Fire Service held its 70th anniversary schools quiz. Competing in the final, I was there as the moderator of the quiz. So competing in the final were the Hildeskeen, students from the Hildeskeen Primary and students from the Christchurch Girls Primary School. It was a ding-dong battle, I'm telling you. And I'm so happy to see that those children have been able to not just research, but absorb the information about fire safety and to be able to repeat it to me, and absolutely correctly too. As a matter of fact, it was so close that there were just 20 points that separated the winner from the followers-up. And so to all of you at the Barbados Fire Service, thank you for having me there, but thank you too for going out and engaging with our schools' children about fire safety. And I'm so glad that you teachers have also been supporting the effort, making sure the information sinks in and stays in. And so we had quite a final yesterday. But most of all, congratulations to the girls from Christchurch Girls. You did very, very well. Did not miss a beat, did not get a single question wrong. Wow. Well done indeed, well done. So to all of you at the Barbados Fire Service, bow, take a bow. And to the students of the Hilda Skeen and Christchurch Girls Schools, congratulations. Well done indeed from this old boy. All right, this old boy has a riddle for you. You ready? You're ready for today's riddle? Today's riddle is easy, trust me, it is easy. How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? Now 100 is a big number, 10 is a smaller one. So how many times can you subtract 10 from 100? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me right now, mathematicians, and tell me, how many times can you subtract 10 from 100? How many times? How many times? How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I can bet you that the first caller will get it wrong. That much I can bet if I'm a betting man. But you will get it wrong, first caller. 228-5562 or 228-5563. How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? Easy. Good morning. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. And where are you watching from?
Christchurch.
Is this Christopher?
Yes, please.
Christopher! How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Chris. This is my godson, Christopher. So, Christopher, are you getting ready for school?
Yes, I am.
Pretty much ready?
Yes.
Is Michael ready as well?
Yeah.
Of course, Michael is not ready. Michael is dragging his feet as usual. So, my brother, are you ready to answer me now?
Yes, I am.
The question is, Christopher, and don't embarrass me. How many times can you subtract 10 from 100? Let's go.
10 times.
Chris, you sure?
Yeah, I'm really sure.
All right. Let me ask you again, Christopher. I'll give you another chance. How many times? I know you're dividing 100 by 10, right?
Yes.
No, it's not a division question. It's a subtraction question. Let's do this again. Ready?
Yes.
So you have 100
Mm-hmm.
and you take away 10. How many times can you do that? Be careful, Chris. You have 100. You take away 10. How many times can you take away 10 from 100? Look at the TV. Look at the TV. Look at the TV. What do you see, Chris?
1.
Yes, yes. Just once. You can only subtract 10 from 100 once. After that, you're subtracting 10 from 90, then 10 from 80, then 10 from... You get it?
Yes.
That's right. It's 100 once, and once you've taken 10 from it, it's no longer 100.
Okay.
So you could take that to school and trick your friends with it, okay?
Okay.
What's the question?
How many times can you subtract 10 from 100?
Correct. Correct, my brother. And I'll see you tomorrow, okay?
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. That's my boy. Christopher Anderson Birch is his name. All right. So that's one question. I'll give you another question before the day is done. You better believe it. Now, coming up today, we'll continue our journey through educating ourselves about, not just educating ourselves, but practicing emotional intelligence. Looking at self-awareness still, and I want to look at the ability to have empathy. It's a big word, but what does it mean when we talk about having empathy? What does it mean when we talk about being empathic? And we'll give you real examples of what it is today. And I hope that you're joining us on this journey and you're practicing just what it is, because it makes you and your relationship with others better, far more meaningful indeed. Now, are you a caregiver feeling stretched thin, exhausted, or unsure how to make things just right for yourself and how to make time for yourself? Well, there's someone who thinks she knows the answers, and she will share with us those answers in just a little while. In our Beja from Afar segment, we'll meet a young man who breathes and eats and sleeps sports. He's based in Jamaica, and he's doing some big things all over the world, and I can't wait to introduce you to him in just a little while. A young man. One heart, one St. John, one community. That is it for the marquee event coming up at the end of the month, this Saturday, as a matter of fact. And so this morning, we will continue to tease you as to what to expect when you attend that event on the weekend. I see the number is still up. Should I give another question? Should I give another question? Do you want me to give another question? I have lots of questions. All right, another question. Here we go. Now listen carefully. Now there is a one-story house in which everything is yellow. Yellow walls, yellow doors, yellow furniture. And what are the colors of the stairs? Call me now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. So there's a one-story house in which everything is yellow. We have yellow walls, yellow doors, yellow furniture. What's the color of the stairs? 228-5562 or 228-5563. I'm very, very, very serious. A one-story house where everything in there is yellow. Yellow walls, yellow everything, yellow everything. What's the color of the stairs? That is so easy. If you get this wrong, I'm ashamed of you. That is so easy. For real. One-story house in which everything is yellow. We have yellow walls, yellow doors, yellow furniture. What's the color of the stairs? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Do you know the color of the stairs in this one-story house that's yellow everywhere? Everywhere is yellow. Is it not a no-brainer? 228-5562 or 228-5563. A one-story house in which everything is yellow. Can you imagine that? It's a mellow cream. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you this morning?
Oh, I am doing well. How do you do?
I am doing fairly well, thank you.
Only fairly?
Yes, because I had a cold and I'm still, it's still bothering me a little bit, but I'm good.
How long have you been carrying this cold now?
From about last week. A week before.
2 weeks now?
I traveled and I found myself with a cold.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So when is the doctor going to be a part of your visits?
I'm thinking about it. I'll by the end of the week.
So question for you. What do you do to self-medicate to make sure that you get rid of a cold generally? What do you do? Rub down?
Yes, I did. Last night I did a lot of Bengay, balsam. I had to, seriously.
Yes.
And I took the multi-symptoms and the medication and, cough syrup, all sorts of things.
Everything.
The vitamin C, of course, you ramp up on the vitamin C. But last night I had to really put some Bengays on.
On your neck and on your chest?
On my face.
On your face?
Yeah.
Bengays on your face? Did it burn?
Yes, I bared it. I bared with it.
Okay.
Yes.
You're a bold girl.
Behind my ear, everything.
Wow. You have sinus issues or something?
Pardon?
Do you have sinus issues?
Not normally, but I don't know. I hear people saying that a lot of persons are complaining about the sinuses due to the
Sahara dust.
Sahara dust.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Me too. I have that problem as well. But face with Bengays, boss, boy, oh boy, you are desperate to have this gone, right?
Yes, it's annoying, man. It's not good. It's not good.
I'm not laughing at you, right? It's just the way you said it.
You're laughing with me, then.
Trust me, yeah. I get you for real. I really do get you, indeed.
Yes.
All right. Do you think you have the answer for me?
I think so, and I hope so.
Let me hear you.
You said it's a one-story house.
I did.
One-story house and got the stairs.
No, I said it's one-story house with everything in yellow.
Yeah,
so I just want to know. I just want to know what's the color of the stairs.
Right. Well, if it's a one-story house, unless the stairs is on the outside. And it was yellow too.
So what's the color of the stairs?
In the color. In the stairs.
Are you adamant on this, right?
I am adamant.
And are you unanimous in this?
Pardon?
You know who was it? Miss Bucket, was it? No, it's the lady from Are You Being Served? And I'm unanimous in this.
Yes.
One woman decision.
Yes.
And so you are very, very sure there are no stairs.
I am very, very sure.
Simply because you heard me say it's a one-story house.
Simply because it's a one-story house.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, and I'm assuming if the stairs will be on the inside.
Yes, indeed. Seems the Bengay worked.
Yes, they have cleared
All
my
right.
head.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. I wish you better, okay?
Thank you.
You're
too.
very welcome. All right. Sweet child, isn't she? She's fantastic. I love that. That in spite of it all, we can press through. There is still sunshine. And you know, sometimes we become so depressed, we allow ourselves to get down simply because something happened and oh dear, it's the end of the world. No, it's not. It truly isn't. There's so much you can still do. There's so much light you can see through it all. We'll take in a break. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 and a half minutes after 6 o'clock. Tony is here, and if you're wondering, yesterday is Tuesday, and yesterday Tony is here, but we shall keep him waiting, and you too, because we want to continue our journey towards emotional intelligence and self-awareness and having empathy and all of that, da. But joining us now is another one who's very much interested in helping you care for self. Her name is Kathleen Brathwaite. Kathleen is a nurse. She's also a self-care advocate, and Kathleen is right there on your screen. Good morning to you, Kathleen. How do you do?
Good morning, I'm okay.
What drives you to do what you do now?
Being in healthcare for over 22 years, I have watched myself and some of my colleagues coming very exuberant and excited, and then get to a space of almost nonchalance. You're still doing what you say you love, but the passion and the energy is gone. So,
does that happen to everyone in every profession?
Unfortunately, it does. But what I want to do is rewrite that narrative. So my belief is we forget the human side of the people actually delivering care and service and all those things. But I want to refocus persons to remember we're not just the nurse or the doctor or the teacher or whatever role we have, the leader, the CEO. We are actually human beings and performing the role. And if we can adjust our mindset a little bit, a bit, if we can adjust our mindset to recognize that this is a human being performing these functions, then I can see that we create that thing that we all talk about here in Barbados, meaningful work. It's not just you doing something to survive, but you're operating in your passion and you're thriving in the thing that you say that you want to do and to contribute to this world.
Whose mindset has to change? You kept saying we have to change our mindset. Whose mindset are you talking about? The individual or the boss? The
individual, the boss, the system, the culture, the entire landscape. That's my position.
Is that as easy as it sounds?
No, it's not.
Okay. So it starts bit by bit. It's not as easy as it is, but it takes a conscious effort.
Yes, please.
So where do we start in trying to rebuild that narrative that allows all of us to look at self and not feel as if we're being selfish?
So for me, this is my awareness phase. So I'm going through speaking about it, on social media, wherever I get the opportunity to. I'm also working with Caribbean Nurses Organization. I've created a course as well to help persons to shift that mindset, to understand it is not foreign to consider you. I'm not sure if you heard, if you've ever cared for anyone or been in situations where persons have caring for their mother or father. There's a certain guilt, there's a certain pressure that comes with choosing you sometimes, and then you operate and you just go on the fumes, and you survive and you survive and you survive, and before you know it, you're actually burnt out and you're of no help to the person or the persons that you're actually giving care to. So for me, it is about creating those safe spaces of sorts to understand and position frameworks to understand, hey, you've chosen to become a nurse, you've chosen to care for your mom, you've chosen to be a teacher, but we have structures and frameworks in place that can help you unpack that process. And it's not just you going all out till you're flat out and burned out.
But because of the work that you do, it's never ending.
Yes.
You know, the demand for your time, the demand for your energy, and sometimes just your presence is never ending. How do you pull yourself away to do the things that you're asking me to do?
All right, so that is an interesting question. At first, it was hard because I was some person who's always there for persons. So for me, it started with turning off my cell phone at a certain time or taking it out of the room. So I have this thing where my brain is always going, but the moment I get an idea, I go to type or I go to flesh out the idea. Took the phones. After 8 o'clock, the phone is out in the front and I'm in the bedroom. I also have a whole wind down to sleep. So right before I sleep, like half an hour, 45 minutes before I sleep, no phones. I don't want to talk to nobody. It's just music, maybe an occasional candle, maybe some tea, just to relax and prepare my mind and my body for that. For me also, what was important is not feeling like I had to juggle every ball. And I know some of us experience that. We have so many things to do and we don't take time to stop and determine, hey, does this thing really require me? Or do I just feel like because I have these skills, I have the capacity to hold it? Once I stopped and recognized, hey, that doesn't need me. That ball can drop safely. Let me worry about the balls that are breakable and hold those and carry those. Makes the load a little bit easier. Am I perfect at it? No, sometimes I still get into the routine of, okay, this person needs me, that person needs me, I need to. And then I have to tell myself, hey, no, please. No, please. I'm sorry, I can't do that right now. I have some time next week. I can see you next week.
And not feel badly about it.
And not feel bad about it.
Time is a factor though, because you just talked about juggling. Do I have the time and so forth? And so as we think about life and we have to make these quick decisions, sometimes we feel the pressure of time. Don't you folks at home? Don't you feel that pressure of time as well? And so if you don't do it, you think of what could very well happen, and then the guilt hits you for 6.
Right.
If I had not, I should have. And how do you then say, when something happens as a consequence of your deferring for just a moment, something that you consider to be negative, how do you tell yourself, that's not my fault?
Releasing connection. We always think that everything is within our control. The reality is, if I stop here now, life is still going to go on. True or not true?
True.
I remember I was in a park one day and I sat and the ants were walking and I had this big, it wasn't a big revelation, but it was like, you know that I insignificant? Not from a space of negativity or anything. Do you know that these ants are moving without me? These trees are blowing without me. I just happen to be in the space where they are. Similarly, we attach ourselves to things and give it value. But if we step back and we recognize, hey, this probably would have happened anyway. And it's not the fact that it has happened. Do I have the skills to navigate it as it comes? Because that is essentially what life is. Things will happen. Do I have the skills at the point in time? Do I have the capacity? How do I build this skill? Is this something that I want to actually engage in?
I look at vagrants. You know, as you drive by, you see them, they're sitting. They don't seem to get ill. They never do. I get ill, and they way back me and I get ill. And somehow they live life peaceably. And I question sometimes, what is it that I'm not getting right that they perhaps have gotten right? Have you ever had that experience?
Yes.
And what answer comes to you?
What answer comes to me? They just exist. They I don't want to say enjoy, but they experience the day as it comes. As for me, looking through my eyes, I'm not a vagrant, but from looking through from the outside, their tomorrow is not planned. We sit and we we ruminate about the things we have to do tomorrow and the next day. They don't know where their next meal is coming from.
And it matters not. And is that part of the problem, as you see it, for us who see ourselves to be sane, that we are right, we in control and everything is working right? Is that part of our problem where we don't know how to stop for just a moment and live in the time, in the moment?
I think that is part of the problem of what we experience as humans. The world says we got to go, and the internet says everything is rush, 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 push, 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 but we're not settling and enjoying the journey of life.
One of the strategies that you use is called the pause method, and I was leading you to that deliberately. When you say that, what do you see coming out of the pause?
Clarity, intention, and I teach the pause method because people think self-care, honoring your physical and your mental and your emotional is about those I don't want to say transient things, but the spas and the things like that. Those are moments of pause, yes. But if you do not build the necessary skills and the intention and create those circles of support that can encourage you, you're just pausing. So it pushes past just the pause, but having that clarity, what is my blocker? What am I ruminating on that keeps me stuck in this moment? How do I navigate? And moving from a space to think that everything is not outside of you. Everything is not, I have to go learn. We have some skills right here based on our life experience that create a foundation. We just need to tap into it.
So pausing allows us to tap in.
Yes.
And then in tapping, you're part of the other strategies you use is reframing the challenge. What do you mean?
All right, so most times people think of challenges as something negative. I can't get this done, or I don't have capacity, or something like that. Reframing the challenge means, again, pausing, but looking at it from a place of growth and looking at it from a place of opportunity. That is the word. From looking at it from a place of opportunity. So it no longer becomes the blocker. It becomes, what can I learn from this experience? Yes, it's a little bit heavy. Yes, I may have to curl up and cry a little bit because that human side of me is like, oh gosh, what no?
Yes.
But then, how can I use this to grow? How can I use this to experience something different? What can I take away?
And the other strategy I wanted to raise with you is one that you say is find those micro rechargers. What are some of those micro rechargers, as you know?
So, micro rechargers.
She sits up, boy, look out.
It's actually a micro recharge. So, micro rechargers are those things that you can do throughout the day to stop you from just going, to break the cycle. So, it may be a stretch, it may be breath work, it may be exercise. And those things coupled with your intention and your capacity and reframing and all those things help you to break that cycle. I have this theory, especially in healthcare, we deal with a lot of ill persons. Illness breeds negativity. And in this space you hear about, nurses are burnt out, the patient-nurse ratio is unheard of, it's unsafe and what's not. But we continue patient after patient after patient after patient, thing after thing after thing, without that break. And when we do not have the opportunity to break, you've heard of the fight and flight response. That fight and flight is continuous. And that's not how our bodies were designed. Our bodies were designed, see a threat, see something that creates that response, neutralize it, and come back to a space of rest and digest. If we keep going and going and going, we're not giving our bodies that chance to reset. So those micro pauses or those micro steps allow us to stop, to reset, to refocus, to allow your brain a chance to breathe, to allow your body, your spirit a chance to breathe, and then for you to go on.
So walk away, stretch, change your sitting position, all of those different things one can do.
Drink some water. And the thing about micro pauses is that people think that you need to do something big and elaborate. In the interim, you just need to break the cycle. So these could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I remember in COVID, for my teams that I led, I instituted something called a mass break, as simple as that, a mass break. We had to be in mass all of the time. And I said, no, I'll relieve you, I'll send some person to relieve your station. Go walk around the building, take off the mask, breathe, walk. Don't go on your phone. Just relax. Don't do anything that causes that extra stimulation. And it worked.
It works. So this is a process that works. Kathleen Brathwaite says so. And so we want to encourage all of you, caregivers, yourselves, to, from today, consider having those little pause moments, having those moments where you take to reframe the situation and see just where you are in it, and also find those micro recharges indeed. Simple Simon met the pieman. Thanks to Kathleen Brathwaite. Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us this morning as a nurse and a self-care advocate, reminding those who give care, one has to care for oneself too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Likewise. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, we have 27 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. I've kept him waiting long enough. I've kept you waiting long enough. Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of Tony Alton.
Good heavens. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I like your reaction. I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks.
You haven't had one of those announcements in a while, right?
No, man. No, not at all. Can I go and come again?
Yes, and let's do it again, indeed. You are so important to our development that, you know, we get excited when we know that Tony's coming up.
Wow.
And again, as always, I have my conversation with Norma. Norma is watching, no doubt, this morning, indeed. And so she too is seeing the benefits. I met some people at the weekend last, and I cannot believe how many people said to me, we love it when Tony Alton is on. We love listening to Tony Alton. He makes such sound sense. And all I ask of them, are you practicing it?
Well, there's this adage that says youth is wasted on the young, and wisdom is wasted on the old. I'm trying.
You're in the middle.
No, I want to give leg to that.
Okay.
I'm seeking to give leg to that. Yeah.
You're doing well. You're doing very well in doing so. Yeah. And so we continue our journey towards emotional intelligence, but today we want to continue delving a little deeper into awareness, social awareness.
Social awareness, yeah.
Self-awareness is a critical part of it. And that's what we talked about last week. I took the time to write it down, as you could tell here in my notes, right?
Yes.
We spoke of 4 things that would help, that we have to recognize that about someone else.
That we all have in common. We all have in common.
Good.
Those four needs.
To live, to love, to learn, and to leave a legacy.
Yeah, all of us.
All of us.
Yes. At our core, those are needs that we're seeking to fill.
And if we understand about each other, then we can operate at that level.
Yes.
And we see each other with respect. We see each other as someone who wants to reach out and to absorb from.
Desperately.
Desperately too.
Yeah, desperately so, yes.
Why do you say that?
Why do we spend so much time on our phones? Why do gangs work?
I get you. They want to associate.
They need for connection.
And that's the way we were built.
Yes.
The master built us this way to connect in this way. And so today we want to look at empathy. And what is the definition of empathy?
So several definitions. So let's make it so more easy to grasp. For me, empathy is not an emotion, it's a skill. Empathy is a sincere desire to understand where the other is coming from. Notice I said it's a sincere desire to understand where the other person is coming from. It's a skill in that it requires the ability to listen to understand, and it requires the ability to ask, what we call ask the right question.
Right.
Yes? So it's not so much about an emotion, which is more like sympathy. It's about really trying to understand where the other person is coming from. It's about getting out of our own heads and seeking to get into the head of the other person, purely to understand.
Yeah. One of the words you used in setting up the definition was sincere.
Sincere, yeah.
And sometimes that insincerity shines through stronger than the sincerity.
Yeah.
And why does that happen?
I think to a certain degree we are all selfish. To a certain degree we think self first. So oftentimes I can be engaging you, but I'm engaging you from a perspective of how can I get my needs met? And with little or no interest in your perspective, and little or no interest in understand how it can help you get what it is you're looking for.
You're right. And also you have this superiority fight, for want of a better. I see where I sit. That's a part of me that I have to control every single day. Not about trying to be superior or anything like that, but I always say to people who I talk to, I say, don't tell me everything because you spoil it for me. I like my natural curiosity.
Okay.
I love that. It takes me into places and spaces and allows me to open up and take you in.
And to grow.
And to grow. But when you tell me everything, it's like, geez, no, I don't want to hear you. I just don't want to hear you, so to speak. You get what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And sometimes one has to control oneself if you're going to have that meaningful relationship again that we've been talking about, when we have that social awareness and to be empathetic.
But that's why the order is so important. Self-awareness and self-management, known as your private victories, must precede your ability to be effective with others, social awareness and your relationship building skills. So if I'm not working on myself, it becomes difficult for me to be able to meaningfully engage others. Simple, isn't it?
Real simple.
When you think about it and talk about it that way, but because we're human beings and because we don't practice that self-awareness, it becomes difficult now to function in ways that allow us to be effective with others.
So we have to practice self-awareness, ladies and gentlemen. Really, it's part of the process. We think sometimes it's a destination.
It is a very critical part of the process. A very necessary first step.
Yeah, it's totally just said it's only the first step. Think of all the other steps you have to make towards successful relationships. And so being self-aware is powerful, but it's also it can calm you. It can calm you. It can also reduce you
and allow you to practice humility.
That's the word I was seeking.
Yeah, allow you to practice humility.
That's the word I was seeking. And that's so important indeed. So, we're looking at empathy. And empathy, in expressing empathy, we have to be sincere. We want to know, and then, in the head of the other person is, we want to know, as we say in bitches, what do you want to know all of this for? So, how do we show genuine empathy and not have that fight coming back to us asking, what do you want to know me for? We want to know this for? You're asking too many questions.
But we really only have the fight because essentially you and I are in the same position. Because I am trying to get heard, you're trying to get heard, but nobody's listening.
Yeah.
That is what causes the fight. That's what causes the head banging. And so if one of the two in the relationship can get to a place of that self-assuredness, of being resolute about who you are, what it is that you're about, and then consciously, deliberately, intentionally listen to the other, it creates the space, it creates the dynamic for the other person in time to say, well, perhaps there's really no fight here. So somebody has to step out and becomes what is called then that transition figure, who helps to shift the nature of the relationship. Again, like I said last week or before, it is not always possible, simply because some persons are so cemented in that awareness and practice, or lack of awareness and practice, that it becomes difficult for them to open up to the other.
Right. There's some blockers to all of that process as well. I want to take a look at that, Tony,
Sure.
when we come right back, because it's important that we understand what those blockers are so that we can understand how to overcome those blockers. That and more right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're 18 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock. And we're taking a look today at empathy within the whole process of being self-aware and being socially aware at the same time. And part of it is how we connect and on what levels we connect. Last week we reminded you about living, loving, learning, and leaving a legacy. Everyone is driven by that. And so if you understand that to start with, then you can begin to be a lot more empathetic, I believe. But there are blockers, I call them, as we went to break just now, to being empathetic. And so, Tony, you say?
Bias. That
Biases.
we all, without exception, are biased in some form or the other.
I have no bias towards you. Or don't I know?
You may not. I have absolutely no idea.
I just
No,
don't
you
know.
do. You do.
I do?
Because bias is for or against.
Really? Oh, yes, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
So I get the sense you're kind of, you ain't too bad a fellow.
I'm for you, man. I'm for you. Let me just help you there. I am for you.
Yes.
And so I'm for this as well, because I think this process that we're going through is great for all of you who are watching as well, because it really makes your interaction with your other people and you far more meaningful indeed. And so if you have a brain,
you have a bias.
I have a bias.
Let's put that on the table. If you have a brain, you have a bias. And I've brought along one of our handouts because I think it's important to work through, and there's 16 of them that I've listed here,
right?
To work through so that the audience gets an awareness or comes to the awareness that we all have biases. Yeah? So what are some of these biases? Let's work through them quickly.
Okay.
The first one I've listed for you is an affinity bias. We tend to draw closer to those persons who are like us.
Yes.
We don't think about it, not consciously. Understand that our brains, and I think I said this before, we are hardwired in terms of the need to feel safe. Physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically. So if you look like me, if you dress like me, if you talk like me, you're overseas,
yes.
and you hear a voice, and that sounds like a Bajan.
Yes, and you want to draw closer.
you light up, because you spent the last day, the last week, the last month in a space other than Bajan.
Yes.
The moment you hear that, you perk up. Yes.
Same thing.
Same thing happens.
So one of our biases is affinity.
In affinity, yes.
So I recognize that we are operating at the same level, so naturally I want to be.
I move towards.
Yes.
Yes.
And that in itself, while it's a good thing, could also be a negative thing.
Yes. But my first instinct is to move towards.
them.
Yes.
All right, I got that.
Then there's confirmation bias. Confirmation bias says, I go with it because it fits into my already established set of beliefs. So I go with it. I don't question it. No, again, you can appreciate that there's a certain risk in that.
Yes,
because it might only appear that way on the surface. But if it sounds like, I believe it already, again, I move towards. And I'm deliberately using the term move towards and move away from, because that's another way of defining human behavior. That in all of our behaviors, we either move towards because we feel safe, or we move away from because we don't feel safe, we feel uncomfortable, etc.
And we find that a lot in the faith community.
Yes.
Yeah, I either believe in your doctrine or I don't.
Yes.
So I'm drawn to or I'm not drawn to this particular doctrine.
Yes.
And while it is okay to have the herd happen like that, at the same time it can be a negative as well.
Yes. Do I create space? Am I tolerant of the other?
Yes.
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 Am I accepting of the other? Am I respectful of the other?
Convinced. Any more you want to add to that? Good, got you.
Then there's attribution bias. It says, I can guess this person's intent even though I don't ask.
I can guess.
Yes.
And that guessing in itself is a danger zone.
Yes, yes. So we work the same place. We went to the same school. Right? We like the same whatever.
We have the same astronomical sign.
Yes.
All of those kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and therefore we make a lot of assumptions behind that bias. Yeah? Then there's the halo effect. Somebody's done something impressive. We have an equal capacity for evil and for good.
Yes.
But if I know that some person has done something or they have a reputation for doing things that are good, then I tend to assume that everything else about them is also good. Again, this is happening without question. Yeah?
And these are all things, folks, we're talking being empathetic here.
Yes.
And these are all biases that we all have. If you have a brain,
that are
that
informing how we engage, how we interact.
Yes.
Yes.
Got you.
Now, the opposite of the halo effect is the horns effect. Because I heard about you. So I've heard this one thing about you in your life.
Yes.
And I assume that clouds everything else in your life. Yes.
So now I'm a bit of a demon.
Yes. A little bit, a lot of.
All right, sir.
A lot of demon. Then there's the conformity bias. So I will think or act like other people just to get along. Yes. So if I come into a space and people are behaving a particular way, it's not normal for me, but I will ease wrong and make the adjustment so that I don't stand out, so that I, So
Again, church. Some people are in the power and you figure the guilt hits you.
Yes.
And you just want to move a little just then because it shows that you're part of it.
This is how they pray. This is how they worship. This is how they so. Yeah, so I would make and I do it without conscious thought. Yes. Then there's everybody's familiar with the gender bias. Then there's the name bias. I remember they went after Barack Hussein. Certain people would deliberately drop in the Hussein because they want you to have a certain belief about this person. Yeah. So there's that name bias. There's a beauty bias. People who are attractive, or you think of them in particular ways. Height bias, right? Says taller people are more believable. Ageism. We have certain perspective based upon age.
Yes.
Then there's self-serving. So I will go with it because I believe it will help me. There's the sunk cost. I put a lot into this, so it's worth more. So it's difficult to walk away from. Yes. Then there's the actor-observer bias. My mistakes are due to circumstances. Others are due to their flaws.
Wow.
Right. So
I get you.
I thought it was important for us to have the understanding that when I'm engaging life, when I'm engaging others, there's this stuff that is going on in the back of my head that is informing how I think and how I engage others.
So now knowing this, what difference does it make?
Again, my favorite word. Well, those two words. I have the awareness, but what is my intentionality? I love the way Scripture puts it. It says, every man is right in his own eyes, but God judges the heart. What's your intention? So how do I get it right? Practice awareness. And my intention then is, what we said last week, my intention then is, how can I navigate life? How can I navigate this circumstance? How can I navigate this relationship? How can I navigate this moment in ways that I go forward towards achieving my objectives and at the same time help you go forward in achieving your objective?
And that's the balance that we're trying to strike.
Yes, that's the balance you're trying to
So
strike.
if you find yourself wanting to have everything to yourself, there's an imbalance.
Yes.
If you find yourself, while achieving everything you want for yourself, but you're also helping the other person to achieve everything they want as well, there's greater balance.
Yes.
And if it's on the other side, then you know there's also still imbalance. But we need to find a way to meet in the middle. And part of it is to be driven by empathy, which is a hard thing.
Yes.
It's a hard thing, but you need to be conscious of it as well, of all the biases that will block the heart.
That are present with you.
Yeah.
That are ever present, yes.
Ever present.
Ever present.
As in, we will never get rid of them.
Yes.
Can we reorder them, can we shape them, recondition them in any way?
I can say we can question them. We have to be aware that they exist. Again, because of that need to be safe, because our brain functions on the basis of, am I safe? Am I safe?
Yes.
If I'm safe, I will step forward. If I don't feel safe, I will come back. I will withdraw.
And if I'm not feeling safe, I go
into myself.
I go to myself. But if I wish to bridge, I bridge by recognizing that we all want to live, love, learn, and have a legacy. And so I reach out safely in that kind of way.
Yes.
It's working on me, folks. Is it working on you? Are you getting this? And it's constant repetition. It really helps.
Yes, it is.
You know,
it is.
That's where the muscle gets bigger and stronger. I take the time to be conscious about it. What about you? Are you doing so? And I really, really hope that you are, because all of this is so critical in how we relate one with the other. It helps to order our society. It helps to inform our relationships. It helps to make us feel better. Not just about ourselves, because at the end of it, it's not about, oh, I've done this, I've done that, which is what some people tend to do, Tony, you know. Oh, I've done this and I've done it, so therefore. It's knowing that you can sleep peaceably at night, knowing that somebody else does not have the negative emotions towards you. They also are looking out to your greater success and greater good.
So here's the question I ask myself. Whom did I engage today has walked away believing that their life is better in some way because we had that engagement?
Oh. I shall begin to ask myself every day that question from here on in. Wow. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. And I mean, really genuinely, thank you.
Yes.
And I'm sure the audience is saying the very same thing as well. Thank you, Tony. Folks, this is powerful. This is powerful, but it's meaningful. And again, thank you.
Pleasure.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people, Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on.
Let me introduce you now to Philip Hunt, who is an author and a marketing man, indeed, and he's Philip Hunt. Philip, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson.
Tell me very briefly a little bit about yourself. You say you write. You write. What kinds of work do you do?
I don't do fiction or anything like this, but I write on social issues and economics and so on.
What drives you to do so?
Well, I had this drive in me to be a writer since my days at law school.
Mm-hmm.
You had a teacher called Faith Marshall Harris, and she always told me that I can write.
Mm-hmm. And you took her at her word?
I took her at her word, yeah.
And so writing, you like to talk about these kinds of social issues and economics and the like. And over time, therefore, have you produced any of your work?
Yes, I produced 2 books, but also like history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially history of Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that I was raised here on a plantation, and I'm aware of what used to go on. I don't like to remember it, but it was painful for the majority of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in writing the history of Barbados and the plantation experience, how did you get out of that emotion so that you can still, it's painful, yes, and you can put it in the past and you can move on. How did you deal with that emotion that you met while writing that book about the plantation life?
But just after my retirement, these ideas kept coming back to me. And I trekked down to the archives, mm-hmm. and I got a whole synopsis of the plantation I was living on. And I realized certain things, right? The ownership patterns, and then I could see the social side of it in the way in which black people were being treated. Mm-hmm. I would tend to call it vignettes of slavery.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so getting the book out and about and so that people can read it, where can we see it? Have you published?
Yes, I have a few copies at home, but
okay.
The others are at the University of the West Indies.
At the University of the West Indies. So we can see the plantation life through the eyes of Philip Hunt, having lived it himself. And so you say you also write on economics and stuff. Did you study economics?
No, I studied marketing.
You studied marketing, but you've written on economics?
No, I've written on marketing.
On marketing? Oh, okay. So you've studied marketing, and a lot of times people think marketing is a scheme of sort, because you want me to take an action that is not necessarily the truth at times. Some people hold that position. What do you say?
I don't think so. In that I think marketing adds value to a product or service, right?
Mm-hmm.
The accountants will add up the profits at the end of the day, but marketing adds value.
Marketing adds the value to the product or service. And so you've written about this as well. So it's important that people not just see you, but see the book, read the book, and get a sense of what's in the book as well. And that book is also at the University of the West Indies?
Yes, and they still have a few copies at home.
Mm-hmm. So I have to go to the UE every time to read your work?
Both of them are down there. I mean, you can make a purchase.
Yes, we can talk to you personally, or we can go to the UWI Bush store and take a look in through. And so, you how long have you been doing this now?
This is since I retired, I took it up in earnest.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so far, so good.
It isn't profitable, but it's a love of labor.
Yes.
A labor of love, sorry.
Right. So, because it's a labor of love, so far, so good. I mean, did you go into it for profit, or you just wanted to put up some seminal work?
Well, in the case of history, I'm not of the ilk of, say, Trevor Marshall and so on, because I only did to A level.
Mm-hmm.
But I like history, and I'm learning some more every day, especially history from Africa to the Caribbean and beyond.
Okay, brilliant. And you know, sometimes you just have to tell the story. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be the genius to tell the story. You just tell the story as you know it. And so, Philip Hunt, I want to thank you for coming by. I really hope that people engage with your work in history and in writing about economics and in writing about social issues and so forth, all in the bookstore at the University of the West Indies, or you can call Philip Hunt yourself and you can get from him copies of his work. I thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, person.
You're very welcome.
Pleasure.
Likewise. We're back in just a moment.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now. A critical facility for the Caribbean's response to natural disasters and humanitarian crises has now been officially opened in Barbados. Stakeholders are calling the state-of-the-art complex a game changer for the World Food Programme's emergency preparedness and response in the region. Located at the Perimeter Road in Christchurch, the hub is a major undertaking to address gaps in supply chain infrastructure exposed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley led a team of dignitaries to the opening yesterday, and Anesta Henry was also there. She files this report.
This 2,500 square meters of storage space is empty now, but in the coming months, it will be filled with critical supplies that will be deployed in the event of a natural disaster or humanitarian crisis in the Caribbean. It's called the Caribbean Regional Logistics Hub and Center of Excellence, and is strategically located at the Grantley Adams International Airport to enable a rapid response. This facility was established in November 2024 by the United Nations World Food Programme in partnership with the government of Barbados and the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Agency. In addition to storing pre-positioned emergency supplies, it will also facilitate enhanced logistics coordination and specialized technical assistance for emergency logisticians for SEDEMA and its member states. Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley says the facility is key for disaster preparedness and response in the region.
And this is also about positioning Barbados, leveraging our geography. And I said then geography matters. And because Barbados is the most easterly, a judgment was made that given the fact that we are less likely to be hit than most, this is probably the safest place. If you have to wait on stuff to come from Panama, that's 1,200 miles away. If you have to bring stuff from Miami, 1,500 miles away. So having Barbados located along with the establishment of the fact of that SEDEMA has established itself here as its headquarters. The Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology is there in Husbands in St. James. This is just a perfect conclusion to what would otherwise be systems in there, ensuring now that it is not just high level and academic and policy, but it is also now about making sure that food can get to people.
Prime Minister Motley adds the facility will also play a critical role in helping countries facing humanitarian crisis.
You heard me speak about the utterly devastating situation in Haiti, where more than 1 million people have been displaced in the recent times, and where almost half the population is deemed to be suffering from food insecurity. For us in Barbados, that is a concept that we are not even familiar or aware with.
The logistics hub is in partnership with Canada, co-funded by the European Union, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, USAID, and the World Food Program USA. SEDIMA's Executive Director, Elizabeth Riley, is thanking all the partners who have made the hub a reality.
We must continue to work together to ensure the financial sustainability of the hub, and I'm using this opportunity to thank all partners in advance. I congratulate all involved in this initiative. Let this hub be a beacon, a signal that the Caribbean is moving decisively to strengthen its capacity to act quickly, smartly, and together in the face of disaster.
Regional Director, Latin America and the Caribbean, World Food Program, Lola Castro, says because of the hub, citizens of countries affected by hurricanes will no longer have to wait lengthy periods for assistance.
How long are the people going to be under the water, without shelter, without being able to have a bed, without being able to eat? How many days are we going to let them be there, especially women and children, which are the ones who suffer more from these emergencies? So that is what keeps me awake at night. And for that, I think this center will be the solution.
The hub also features 1,300 pallet positions and is equipped with temperature-controlled assets for cold storage. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Well, students now have more opportunities for internship with the launch of the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association's Adopt a School program. The BHTA initiative was launched yesterday in collaboration with the Ministry of Educational Transformation at the association's offices at 4th Avenue, Belleville. Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw says it falls in line with the Educational Transformation Reform Initiative. She says it is a far-reaching developmental program.
The program which the BHTA has proposed and which will be implemented quite shortly hits at least two of those targets. Beautification for us is a big thing. We want to make sure that the schools are conducive to teaching and learning. We want to make our students, our teachers, and other members of staff excited when they have to get up on mornings and go to school. And the identification of 4 to 5 schools in the first instance by the BHTA so that they can go in and refurbish or design a recreational area is very much welcome.
Chief Executive Officer of the BHTA, Ryan Ford, says the Adopt a School project is funded through the Tourism Fund's activation, which is supported by contributions from hotels, restaurants, private sector partners, and even donations from hotel guests. He adds that the project will be annual.
Many of our hotels and other industry partners, they will select different schools around the island that they like to call their home community. So some examples that I'm aware of from my experience would have been, for example, the Crane. They would have had Hilda Skeen over the years. Sandals, they would have taken on places like St. Lawrence Primary School, and back in the day you would have had Hilton with the Garrison Secondary School as well. So as time has evolved, those companies still do invest into these schools, but from an association, we wanted to do it more collectively, where we can partner with the Ministry of Education and look at 4 or 5 schools that have some small projects that needed to be upgraded in time for the school.
Barbados will be the regional distributor for another line of Chinese full electric vehicles. The Shangan line of trucks and sedan cars will be administered by multi-brand dealer Inchcape Barbados. Head of Service Excellence Janelle Cherubin says the unveiling has moved the industry to the next level.
2 years ago, we entered an exciting new chapter through our strategic partnership with Inchcape Global, expanding our vehicle portfolio and our sustainability roadmap for the future. As the head of our after-sales service division, I'm proud to say that we have invested heavily in ensuring our teams are EV ready, not only to meet our brand and OEMs requirements, but as well as of our health and safety compliance.
Well, the automotive official says much is in store for the electric vehicle industry as the company stays on course with the government's 2030 Renewable Energy Initiative.
At Inchcape, our sustainability framework strengthens our commitments to our brands, reinforces our internal alignment, and places sustainability at the core of our business decisions. We are ambitious and committed to leading the way toward a sustainable mobility future. As we unveil this brand, we're not just introducing a new EV to Barbados, we are also contributing to the plan of our government to achieving 100% renewable energy and carbon neutral status by 2030.
To sports now, a good all-round performance from Captain Hayley Matthew could not save the West Indies women from a T20 series whitewash by England women in Chelmsford last evening. Playing in the third and final match, the Windies women fell to a 17-run defeat. Sent into bat, the home side there posted 144 for 5, led by an unbeaten 66 from Heather Knight. Windies skipper Matthews took 3 for 32. In reply, the Windies women fell short on 126 for 8, with player of the match Matthews hitting 71 with 11 fours and a 6. Look at the highlights. Well, up next for the ladies are 3 one-day internationals starting on Friday. That's the news. Until now, more news coming up at 12 noon right here on CBC TV8. Mornin Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray, microbiome probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility
We're 15 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to welcoming into our screens and into your homes Abejan Afar. This is a young man who I first met right here in the CBC, but now he is doing big things on a global stage. His name is Gerard Morris Seeley. Gerard, good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Good to see you. You've grown so much and so well in the industry. Congratulations for all you've been able to achieve thus far. How does it feel when we reflect for just a moment that you started as this little boy, the Alexandra School, I believe it was, right?
Yes, that's great.
And now this young man from the Alexandra School is on TV, on sports mats, seen all over the world. How does that feel?
Trust me, it's something that I've always dreamed of, and of course you would know because, as you mentioned, we worked closely together when I was just an intern at CBC all those years ago, almost 10 years ago. But it's just a surreal feeling. Very happy to have made my dreams come true, and it's all about the work, and the process is just beginning, and we're still having a lot of work to do to go forward.
Just out of curiosity, how did that opportunity present itself to you, and then what were the factors that you used to decide that yes, you'll take this opportunity to join Team Sports Mats?
Well, when I was a student at Carmack, of course, I was part of the University of West Indies MONA. In 2021, COVID was still around, but I got an opportunity through my director, then for journalism, the head of the journalism department, Stefan Campbell, Dr. Stefan Campbell, now he is. He would have reached out to me and let us know that there was an opportunity to work at Sports Max, and the decision was easy because it's a place I always wanted to work at. Grew up watching Sports Max, watching the EPL on Sports Max, watching cricket on Sports Max, and because of my love for sports and because I was a journalism student, it was a very easy choice. What I did not expect was that this door would have been open so quickly because I started as a writer for the website, but they saw potential and they took me up and they nurtured this talent, and now I'm doing big things for them.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm going to get back to that story in a minute, but I have to ask this question. Did you get to meet the great Faye Ellington at Carmack?
No, she was already retired at that time. But I know of Faye. We've heard stories of Faye. The students, of course, always telling us how strict of a teacher she was, how strict of a journalist she is. And yeah, it's unfortunate that I haven't met her yet, but I'm not letting that dream go.
At all. And so there it is now. You are in that space where all of these regional broadcasters and journalists and people in all sorts of areas of media really are germinating and learning and being prepared to be unleashed to the rest of the world. And so you're rubbing shoulders with some of the best. Sportsmats could have chosen somebody else, but they chose you. What do you think it is about you that made them say, we want this young man from Barbados?
Well, I think it's mostly my dedication to the craft. From early, they noticed that this young man takes it very seriously. And I do. I put everything, all of my passion in every script I write, every story I write, every time I go on screen, and it's just all about professionalism. That's how you stand out, of course, how easy you are to work with, how many ideas you bring to the table, how you help those ideas to flourish. And it's something that they really saw in me from a young age. From the time I got in, I always made my opinions known, but not in a way that would come off as disrespectful, but one as helping to try to enhance our product and how we put things out there, how we tell stories to the people of the region worldwide, because we have a reach now on YouTube, thanks to the internet. But that's basically how I got my foot in, and they realized that he's taking this job seriously, he has a bright future, and they took me up and they realized that, yeah, we need to nurture this talent, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that have been presented.
And now here it is, you find yourself working with people like Lance, and those names that we would have sat in Barbados and watched and listened to. How is it working with Lance, and how is it working with a team of professionals who are like the ESPN of the region?
It is almost very surreal because you grow up watching these people, you hear them on television, you hear them on the radio, and then you sit down in the office with them, right across from them, you share jokes with them, they tell you stories because Lance always tells stories of his time in Barbados, the 15 years he spent there, and how much he misses the island very much. They so, well, he so loves the country that they call him a baby. I tell him that he's so he has that's okay. But yeah, I mean, when you look at people like Ricardo Chambers, who's undoubtedly the best track and field analysts, track and field commentators, track and field hosts and presenters across the region, across the globe. Donald Oliver, who of course many people call the Peter Drury of football in the Caribbean, and many people like George Davis who would have passed through. We have so many amazing talents here, so many legendary talents, and not only on screen but behind the scenes as well. We also have people who would have written for our website, Leighton Levy, who's a well-respected analyst across the world. So yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I'm happy that I have been nurtured by many of these talents who would have had a hand in crafting and shaping how far I've come.
Yeah. Where are you from in Barbados?
Originally St. James. My family, my father's side of the family is from St. Philip. My mother's side from St. Andrew, but I grew up in St. James Century. So Tharps, West Terrace, around that side, that's where I'm from originally.
So when you're St. James posse, look at you, Gerard, this little boy who's just run around, playing games, knock about like everybody else. And now here he is, and when they see you on TV internationally, what are some of the messages they send and say to you?
Love, all positivity. Yes. Of course, my family always tell me how proud they are of me. My friends who reach out and I rekindle relationships with always tell me that I'm doing a great job, and I am so grateful for that I've been able to put a smile on their faces because this is not in a world where we have so much negativity surrounding young people, especially. It's great that they can look at me on television and they can look at me and see me around the place and say, hey, I'm very proud of what you're doing, and I hope to be proud for as long as possible.
Yeah. I know you were here at Internet at CBC alongside with Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, who is himself also rising beautifully, Akeem Clinkett and a bunch. These are young men who are still up in the industry. Do you guys still stay connected because you were so tight when you were here?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we talk as often as possible. Amar always picks up the phone and calls me whenever he feels like that's the nature of our friendship. But we always stay in touch. I stay in touch with Damien as well, Damien Best.
Yes.
So that bond can't be lost.
I want to look at you now and your plans, your future plans, because this is an opportunity that you have, that you've taken and you're doing so well in. Have you projected further down the line as to what else Gerard wants to do? And how can Gerard use this moment of your life to leverage yourself for the next stage?
It's something that I always think about, not because I'm so eager to move on, but because I'm always thinking of what's next. How can I grow? Where do I want to go to? Of course, the ultimate goal is to work at a global sports station, global media house, because I'm not only limited to sports, but I also dabble in a little bit of current affairs. But of course, ESPN, Sky Sports, that nature, and even maybe TNT Sports or anywhere else in the region, well, in the globe, that is a powerhouse in sports. That's where I want to. I'm also, kind of flirting with the idea of probably owning or operating a media house as well, because I'm so passionate about media and bringing media in the Caribbean to a world-class level that I believe as long as if I could provide a platform for many people, just as how Sportsmax provided the platform for me, I can get a group of people and kind of create a space where we tell Caribbean stories, we tell global stories, just as you are telling my story in this segment being afar. I want to create something that is pretty much doing the same thing and just showing the world that us here in the Caribbean, we have world-class journalists, we have journalists that know what they're doing and they want to tell stories, and the stories that they're telling are of relevance.
That is such a noble. I'm very proud of you and the fact that you've said that. Gerard, you're wearing the on your pendant on your chain, Barbados. Always. Always. And I'm sure you get questions always about that. If you just don't mind, I'll take a break and I'll come right back because I want to continue your story because I'm told that you're also a youth advocate. But a youth advocate in what? I'll talk to you about that when we come right back after the break. We're back in just a moment.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly.
So we're down to 26 minutes after 7 o'clock now, and we are thrilled to reach across the waters to Jamaica to have this Bajan affair. Gerard Morris Seeley, he is a producer and presenter at Sportsmax. He's a youth advocate, and he is just a darn good old bold Bajan boy from St. James. I have to say it like that all the time because great things come from the north, and so we're happy to have him on Morning Barbados again this morning. So Gerard, I planted it like that because I want people to understand where you're from, and I want people to understand that in spite of everything that's going on around them, great things can come, and you're doing wonderful things representing Barbados. When we see you, we don't just see, oh, that's Gerard. We see Barbados through your work, and we are immensely proud of that, the work that you do through Sportsmax, because we are seeing globally, that is what we like to see. As a producer, however, of content at Sportsmax, can you share with us some of the projects you would have worked on?
Yeah, I worked on a few projects. Actually, I work daily on the Sportsmax Zone. One of the senior producers in that team. That has been a great experience for me. Just getting a chance to reach out and tell stories and create awareness around many issues in sports. When I look back at it, we've had a few great stories coming out of the Sportsmax Zone. Recently, we just had Roston Chase on the show on Thursday. Roston, as you know, was just announced as West Indies Test captain, and got the chance to speak with him. Also, when we look at stories that we've done on Shafiqua Maloney from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, she's an Olympian. We had to bring her story to light because she wasn't getting the aid and she was going through a lot of struggle financially, and of course meant to live out her dream of being an Olympian. And through our lenses, through our stories, we were able to get her the financial aid that she needs, and especially getting to speak to Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, the PM, who would have offered assistance to her, and now she's living her dream, signed with Puma, and living out her dream of being an athlete. I've also worked on the Olympic Games. I've also worked on schoolboy football, not only as a producer, but presenter as well.
Yes.
Few projects also like the Commonwealth Games back in 2022. That is coming up again next year, hopefully, God spares. And those are just some of the things that I've worked on, and there are many more projects to come.
Imagine yourself at the Olympics. I mean, here it is, and working with those track stars as you know them as well. So talk to me about that magic of doing the Olympics, because it seems it's such a mammoth task. So many events going on, all of sometimes consecutively, all over the place, and you have to help pull this all together and make sense of it for the region. How interesting or difficult was that task for you?
You know, when we were going into the project, Ricardo Chambers, who was the lead producer on that, he said to me, you know, the first week, the last week when track and field is going on, that's going to be the easy part. And I was like, what do you mean? Because we have athletes to cover. He said, no, it's going to be the easy part. When the first couple of weeks now, when there's so many different events going on and we have to choose and we have to pick and refuse and try to tell stories, that is going to be the part where we have to use our creativity the most. And at first I was like, maybe he's a little bit over exaggerating. But when we hit the ground running and we had to notice that we had swimming going on, the first week was okay because we only had swimming.
Yes.
But when table tennis came in, badminton came in, we had so many different events, wrestling, events that you didn't even know that Caribbean athletes would have been participating in without doing the research. That was the most hectic part of the Olympic Games. It was 3 weeks, grueling days, 17 grueling days of coverage. I don't think I slept 5 hours doing the Games because I had to be back at the office. I worked the overnight shift, of course, you know. I had to be back in the mornings and just ensuring that I'm keeping track of these events and the athletes that are competing. But when the track and field started, it was a lot easier, but still at the same time, we had to keep monitoring the progress of other athletes in other events. But just showing the Caribbean, because before Sportsmax, we were subject to USA coverage, and how that goes, that would be the focus would be on them, and probably a couple other countries like Canada and Great Britain. But we never really had focus on our people. And I'm not only speaking as a Bajan now, but as a Caribbean man. To tell and show that we are competing on the world's greatest stage, because despite FIFA being the greatest, the FIFA World Cup being the showpiece event in sports, there is no other competition that brings together the best athletes, even though it started out as something that was for amateurs. The Olympic Games flourished into something that is great and brilliant and legendary. And we have so many Caribbean athletes that are participating at these games that we had to tell their stories, and we had to fully focus and zoom in on the things that they're doing. I mean, the coverage for those 17 days were not just for those 17 days. We were preparing at least 3-4 months in advance. Actual production. But the work was going from 2021, from the time we ended our last Olympic Games in Tokyo, we would have been starting the process of getting ready our production for Paris. And I think, based on the feedback that I saw, that the Caribbean fans were happy, and the audience that we were trying to capture was gravitated to. They were very much paying attention to what we were doing, and that was a great project.
It was a great project indeed. You're absolutely right. You brought to us all of the reasons why we love what Sportsmax does. The energy of the game, the spirit of the game, the people of the game, the everything about whatever sport it is. And so do you have the fight in your head sometimes as whether you prefer athletics, football, cricket? Do you have those kinds of fights in your head as to which is your favorite sport?
No, that is easy for me always. Cricket is number one. I'm sorry, but although I love all the other sports that I cover, I've been tasked with, for some reason, covering the sports that are not traditional to our region, like golf. I've done darts before, thanks to Mark C, who sent me on a darts assignment years ago. But yeah, I've been tasked with covering the non-traditional sports, but cricket would always be number one.
Cricket has always been number one. And so who are some of these famous sports people who we all know globally, who you've met and encountered, perhaps interviewed or done projects with?
Wow, there's so many. Usain Bolt, I've met him.
Oh boy.
I would have met a few cricketers. Jeff Dujon, who was retired, West Indies legend, met him as well. Who would I work with? Jehu Gordon, who's a world champion in the 400-meter hurdles from Trinidad and Tobago. Would have met him as well, worked with him. Over Delhi. I can't forget over Delhi.
Yes.
going over Delhi. There's so many to mention.
Yes.
I've also the privilege of meeting people outside of sports who are great. Interviewing Leon Robinson, who is an actor. If you've watched The Five Heartbeats, if you've watched the Little Richard story, Above the Rim with Tupac Shakur, he was in those movies, and not only in those movies, but a star in those movies. So, yeah, I've had an opportunity to meet some really wonderful people.
Track and field in Jamaica, track and field in Barbados. There's a distance between the two. Have you sometimes, while you study what track and field is in Jamaica, thought, these are things that you think Barbados ought to be doing? And if so, can you identify some of the things that you hope eventually in Barbados we can do to get our athletes to be as good as or even better than those trained in Jamaica?
Yeah, trust me, there are a lot of things. First of all, just the whole training regime, I find that there seems to be sometimes a lull period in our track and field in terms of our athletes training all year round. Of course, they would get a month or two off once they're out of season, but I find that here, there is always a program going on, especially for the juniors. The juniors are always training, they're always in action. Even though they're out of season, some of them are still competing, because even though they know that they may not be able to make the World Championships team, their coaches are trying to gauge their process, their progress, rather based on how they've been training, what they're trying to reach, the goals that they're trying to hit. And that's something that I think we could do, even though our athletes are not competing in season at BSAC and the championships are over, if the games are over, we need to have them continuing their training. I find that many of them are just done if they don't get to college, which brings me to another point, and ensuring that they're home and they're training and they still have a program. They don't have to go overseas in order to do it. I mean, even sending a couple of our athletes to Jamaica. I mean, Shade is here, Kishana Niles is here, Mario Burke is here. Working or having a program, an exchange program where we send our best athletes to train elsewhere and bring some of the athletes from over and away to Barbados, focusing on the things that we're strong at. That is part of it. But overall, we need to work on our infrastructure. I mean, that's a big thing. We need to have a stadium worked out, which is now on and going, which is great. Kudos to the government for that. And just have multiple places where they can train. Not only focus on having that synthetic track, but also sand, a nice beach area where they can train, the grass area, safe for them to work on their speed and agility. Even though the synthetic track is paramount to their success and important for them to know how to work that track, they need places where they can build their strength and their endurance, and doing that on sand, doing that on grass, which is what many of the coaches here in Jamaica do with their athletes, having them train on those surfaces so that when they get onto the track, it is quite easy for them. So those are some of the things that we can explore. But more partnerships, of course, between the clubs and the schools, especially having them work with gyms, work with any partners that are really willing to come on board. That's the only way we're going to get the best of our athletes, and ensuring that they concentrate on the things that they're good at.
Well, let's look at the Bajan in Jamaica, because here it is now. First of all, language it can be a little bit challenging at times to understand and to be understood. So talk to me about your settling yourself so that you understood what they were saying to you and that they understood what you were saying to them as well. How was that?
It was a very hard adjustment to make when I first, because the Bajan was very strong.
Yes.
And quite thick. As you can hear now, it's not as thick as it was before.
Yes.
But that's because I have to speak in a TV voice, I guess you can say.
Yes.
Every day, just so that they can understand. I have to slow down, and we normally speak very fast. And there's certain ways that I have to pronounce words differently from how I would do it on Bajan on a regular basis. But when I am upset, or if I'm really passionate about something, it comes right out.
Yes.
I can't stop it. Sometimes I'm in the office I'm trying to explain a project and I get really passionate about it, or we're having a discussion and they say, wait, slow down. You know, the adjustment got easy over the years and as time passed by, and understanding them difficult at first. It has gotten easier because I hear the language, the power every day.
Yes.
But still, if I venture too far out of town, then it will be
gets
harder
worse.
to
Oh,
if I go to say, my gosh, that accent is sticky. Yeah, but I like language barriers, learning each other's cultures and how we say things, and noticing that we, even though we're different in a lot of ways, we're still similar.
You're quite right. Getting accustomed to the food now, because their cooking styles sometimes can be a little bit different from ours.
Yeah.
Did you have to retrain your taste buds? Did you have to retrain everything about food as you know it?
You know, Pearson, I'm glad you brought this up because when I first moved here, the first time that I was served food, I had to ask for some gravy. I mean, rice and peas, and no gravy on the rice. So I had to ask to get some gravy. And they were so amazed by the fact that I was making a big deal out of some gravy. But I was like, no gravy. You need to get the gravy on the food. That's how we eat it. But since then, I noticed that, you know, there are things here like ackee saltfish. I thoroughly enjoy that. Breakfast food, even. Because their national dish, they mostly serve it at breakfast time. But, you know, most days I just long for some good old macaroni pie.
You know.
Some flying fish, some cuckoo even. I always, you know, when I come home, I have to bring back because there's nothing like my Bajan products.
Got that right. And so how often do you get a chance to come home to Barbados?
Well, the last time I was home was in 2023, December. I had 24 Olympic Games and other things. So I wasn't able to get home. I'm hoping that I can be home very soon, maybe Christmas 2025. I'm hoping that I will be there and make it more often that I'm back on the shores.
Yeah. What do you miss most about Barbados?
Peace, serenity. I like how we are a little bit slower in terms of pace because in Jamaica it's just hustle and bustle always. I miss, mostly family. Just going and playing some cricket on a regular day because I have not played cricket in a long time.
Wow.
Last was when I was home. That's when I played some cricket. But I just miss the warmth of Bajan people, how we talk to each other and we just have fun together. I miss that fellowship that is around the country.
If you were to land on Barbados right now, what's the first place you would want to go to?
It's always Shafet Pearson, always. Always the first.
And if you turned up at Shafet, what would you order?
Right now, are the tender special going on now?
It's always on, man. It's always on.
There you go.
Tenders. Tenders, without a doubt. All right, fair enough. Do you have a favorite beach? Brandon's, all right. Is there a favorite Bajan genre or artist who you prefer to listen to?
Oh, always Edwin Hayward. I'm blazing Edwin Hayward every day, Crossfire. That's the number one band.
Nice. All right. And who would be the first person you would want to see?
Whew. You're putting me in a spot now.
Yes.
My sister.
Your sister. Why?
Why? Yeah. Because, we lost our mother, and she has always been reaching out to me since then and ensuring that I'm all right. And we talk almost, very often. Yeah, I miss her.
Yes.
And she misses me, and she'll be the first person that I want to see because I need to give her a hug.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Does she tell you that you sound like a Jamaican sometimes?
Every time we talk.
That's not a bad thing. It's likely to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Gerard Morris Seeley, we are so proud of you, immensely proud of you. From little CBC, we sit here, we've watched you grow, and you continue to grow, and you continue to make Barbados so immensely proud, because we see you and we see the potential for other Barbadians to be able to operate on the global stage as well, and you have been fortunate to be able to do so. I always remind people, always remember those who are following, help them along as well. I like community, so bring them along as well. Take the opportunity you've given, give it to someone else as well to be able to do as you do. And I can only wish you the absolute best in all of your future endeavors. Thank you for joining us this morning on Morning Barbados.
Thank you so much for having me, Pearson. I want to say to Barbados that I miss you, I love you, and we will be together very soon. We are a little country and we're punching above our weight, of course, as you know. You see, every time we have this segment, another Bajan doing something immaculate, something spectacular across the globe. And even though some people may leave the shores, they always remember that they're representing Barbados. And they just want all of Barbadians to understand that this is the impact that we have with our 166 square miles on a big globe with 8 billion people on it. So, much love.
Thank you, Gerard Seeley Morris and Morris Seeley. And so, Alexandra, that's yours. He's yours. Celebrate him, be proud of him, and continue to support him. We're taking a break here. We're back in just a moment.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, we have 12 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. You know, Philip Hunt, who we had on just a moment ago, he left with me this book. It's called The 7 O'Clock Bell. And he says in Barbados there's a plantation named Ashbury, which has an unbroken record of ownership from 1674. And this book, he says, describes the challenges and changes to the plantation environment before and after independence. And so he tells his story in here as well. It's an interesting read. I like the title, The 7 O'Clock Bell. So it intrigues me enough to want to read more about it indeed. So that's from Philip Hunt. He says it's available at the UWI bookshop, or you can call him Philip Hunt. He was a civil servant for all of his working life. On his retirement, he then started to take up the book, The Art of Writing. So he has quite a few things, and you can find it at the bookshop at the UWI, or talk to Philip Hunt, and he'll get you a copy of the book. Now, I did tell you at the beginning of the show, I want to remind you of what's coming up at the weekend, the marquee event in St. John. But before I get to that, let me tell you that on the 29th, what's the day, 27th? We have 2 days to go for this one with Soca Planet Soca at Highgate Bar and Lounge, where the best of 98.1, the one, the party station as you know it, really gets your weekend started. It's every Thursday. It's a soca party at Highgate Bar and Lounge this Thursday, featuring Versi, AON Skills, Plug and Scooby, and DJ Ras. We get the weekend started with you at 98.1. The one is absolutely free from 6 in the evening on Friday. And this one is being held at Highgate Bar and Lounge, featuring our soca artists and our best DJs. Versi, AON Skills, Plug and Scooby, and DJ Ras. So all of you, we're all invited. Let's get this crop over going. And let's start the weekend as well early on the Thursday at Highgate Bar for Planet Soca with 98.1 The One. Then coming up also on Thursday from 11 in the morning though at Pelican Island on Princess Alice Highway is Q in the Community. Q in the Community, as you know, is our weekly staple. It's a time when thousands descend on one location to have fun, play dominoes, they dance their life away, enjoy the music, socialize, eat some food, just chill out. And so Q in the Community this week on Thursday will be at Pelican Island on Princess Alice Highway. We start at 11, but the radio broadcast starts at 12. There's karaoke, and someone will win karaoke as well. So come to Pelican Island this Thursday for Q in the Community. A number of things for you to do. So, also on Saturday in St. John is the Regathering Marquee event. This event is called One Heart, One St. John. And it is going to be a day of fun and fellowship and food and everything else as well. 11 o'clock, there is a cricket match at Gull Hill. Then also early o'clock in the morning, we go into Pool Woods, but then all the action starts right after the cricket match as well. There is what she called the Avenue of Community right there in the Pool Woods. And as you come, there's roasting of breadfruit, the roasting of pork, there's domino, there have all sorts of competitions, sauce on sale. They're looking for the best sauce maker in St. John. They're looking for all of those kinds of things. Children are invited as well, and you're also invited to come on down in your numbers. Picnic baskets, everything, bring it out. Have a good time. Have a good time right there at Pool Woods on Saturday for the big marquee event, One Heart, One St. John, this coming Saturday. But then in the evening, the very best of St. John also come out to perform, and the best of Barbados, under the stars, among the trees, and all of those kinds of things. That's happening in St. John on Saturday at the big marquee event, One Heart, One St. John, May the 31st. Of course, all week long we will continue to remind you about this event. But I'm sure you're also curious about what else is happening in St. John. Well, the people of St. John are the best people to tell you what else is happening in St. John. So if you're ready, let's tell everybody about what else is happening in St. John.
Gathering in St. John. Well, my favorite thing about St. John in general is from the time you get in 4 roads, St. John has a feeling of home. I like that it's a community parish. You can always see the little children outside playing, running around, and you don't really find that in other districts. So that's what I love about St. John. Community means the gathering of the people, the olden ways where, the people come together, the people still share. That's what community means to me.
I came from St. Thomas and I made my home in St. John, and I love it here. I made a lot of friends. I interact a lot with the cricketers, and I spend most of my time at the bar here at Gull Hill. Once you're visiting for the first time, you must come. Once it's cricket, you can come to cricket, and on the other hand, you can go over to the church where you can see the historic view of the country.
My favorite food spot, right down here by the Coping. I like that. I like that also in 4 rows. The lady upstairs, Jennifer. Yeah, proper food.
All right, if you're not from St. John, you can try, you got Bay Tavern, there's a lady up the street by the name of Kathy, K&R Bar, you have another Joanne Variety, you have Lemon Arbor, there's a lady over on the pasture where you can get something to eat. There's a lot of food spots around Barbados. You have the Cow Pen Bar, you have a lot. We gathering in St. John.
Welcome to Copen Bar, community bar. I support community. The best community in the world. Best bar ever.
St. John is a beautiful place, a nice loving place. We friendly. Every curse we wanted today, we got tomorrow and shot we wanted. You understand?
Growing up in St. John, it was always one of these communities that, I won't say shy, everybody live together as one. You understand? You share things, sit there, you have a good talk. School, very sorry that the primary school had to shut down, but all of us went to the same primary school. So therefore the bond memories are actually there.
I was at Warfare, I was 69. October coming here now, the 4th, I give you 70. Not 17, 7 now. Right? And if we please out for that age, and if we we're good, be honest with you. And this is my service coming here. I just come here every day. When I come home for work, I don't have a do a little thing. I line here. I come from South and I got my friends. So I invite people here. Because the lady is a nice lady. I'll be very honest with you. Very nice lady.
Kerry. She real nice. You right, Copen? Represent Kerry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Market calendar for this moment. The biggest major don't come in. The whole diaspora buzzing. I gathering, you gathering, together we gathering. Come long.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Sponsored.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
They've given me enough time to give to you one more riddle. Yes, indeed. So, folks, you ready for this? Call me right now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. I have a riddle for thee. Here we go. This riddle is, if you're running a race and you pass the person in second place, what place are you now in? If you're running a race and you pass the person in second place, what position are you now in? What place are you now in? Call me now. 228-5, quick. 228-5562 or 228-5563. If you are running a race and you pass the person in second place, what position are you in now? We know you. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's see if we get this answer as quickly as possible. Come. Tell me, if you're running a race, you pass the person in second place, what place are you in? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me. Let me know. Let me know. Good morning. Hello. Help me.
Good morning.
Hi.
Richard.
How are you?
I am fine. Yourself?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. What's your name and where are you watching from?
Okay. I am Sabrina. I'm watching from St. Michael.
Sabrina, St. Michael. Sabrina, what's the answer?
I believe the person that you passed in second place would now put you in first.
Sabrina, guess what?
What?
You're wrong.
Why?
Thank you here, Sabrina. She's so wrong. But thank you for trying. I think that almost give away the answer. So can we take one more call? I hope you get this one right because Sabrina's wrong. Sabrina is wrong when she said what she said. I'm not giving you what Sabrina said. You should have heard it for yourself. Because if I tell you what Sabrina said, then maybe you will know the answer. But Sabrina is wrong. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, what's the answer?
Second place.
That's right. Who's calling?
Vilma.
Billy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing so well as well. I wish you a wonderful today, okay?
Great. Thank you.
Well done indeed. Billy Scat, I call her indeed. My good friend. We grew up together. We grew up together. All right.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Well, folks, that's it for today. I thank you so much for keeping us company. The little crew joins me in saying that to you as well. And if it be the will of the Lord, we will all meet right here tomorrow. Take care until then. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.